Another weekend on this boat. I gotta tell you, I'm getting really burned out right now. Even though it's been 2 weeks that I've touched this thing, due to the ice and snow we've had here in Dallas, it's just the smell of mildew and working in dampness is just really getting on my nerves. I've put it off as long as I can today. It's now 68 degrees outside, so it's nice weather, but I just don't want to work on it. I really, really don't want to work on it. I'm so frustrated, tired. I guess you go through these every now and then. I did with the Glastron too, but I know what's ahead of me, and I'm still very, very frustrated. So I'm going to continue working, but like I said, I just don't want to be doing this right now. Anyway, let me show you what's going on. As you can see, we still have ice on the ground in the shady spots, even though it's 68 degrees. And that's what it's been like here for 2 solid weeks. It's just friggin' nasty. And it's so damp and wet that the boat won't dry. That little puddle right there is left over from when I worked on it 2 weeks ago, and it's still there. Same thing up there in the gas tank area. It's too wet. Nothing will dry out. And the inside of this boat just smells like dirty freaking feet and just mildew, like cat piss in here. It's just really, really frustrating. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish cutting the rest of this out in the back with my circular saw, and I'm going to basically just start trying to hack the rest of this foam out of here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take detailed measurements of all the stringers and relationships to each other on a drawing, and I'm just going to start cutting stringers out. And that's what I'm worried about. It's hard to cut these stringers out right up against the hull. It's so scary that you're going to cut through the hull. I think that's what's keeping me from just tearing into this, is I'm just so afraid of cutting through. So I'll just keep going, and eventually we'll get this all done. Okay, 3.5 hours later, I got the majority of the stuff all the way back to the transom out. And I tell you, that was even harder getting the stuff back here out from about there back, because it was original deck, and it had fiberglass on the back side. And I gotta say, man, it's interesting to see that how rotten this boat is, that even the underside was rotten and sagging down. So I think even sealing this wood just basically prolongs the agony of having to do this again. I think anyone with a foam boat like this really ought to take a good look at their underside, because I just don't see how any boat can survive. I don't care maintenance or whatever. Honestly, I don't think that any boat can not have water at all inside of it. So, especially if you use it, there's too many places for it to get in. So it's going to be a real challenge for me to be able to completely seal this deck and keep water at all, especially where it comes down here and then it angles back in. I mean, there's a lot of complicated corners in here, which is, I gotta say, stressing the hell out of me. I mean, these aren't just the only straight stringers are those that goes from on the outside, these right here, but these all come in here and they got some freaking all over the place. I'm sure it doesn't really matter, but still, it's kind of stressing me out. It looks like the transom down here, which you can see the transom goes up and over and around. Looks like that's all rotten down there too. So, yeah, probably gonna have to do the whole thing. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. So, with that being said, I'll just go ahead and get it out. Now, here's a funny thing, or not really a funny thing, is I got a guy that just quoted me $500 at a boat place to basically gut this thing for me. So that way I don't have to deal with all this crap anymore, because it's getting harder and harder to get stuff out. And for $500, this may be worth it. But my wife is drawing some stuff up on paper right now. We're going to actually take detailed measurements of all these stringers from side to side, up and down, where all the breaks are, how big the gas tank opening is, all that stuff. So that way we've got kind of a starting point whenever we get all this stuff out of here. So that's it for now. Well, I got a little second wind. My lovely wife gave me a pep talk and got me set straight, helped me come out here and do all the measurements and get it kind of where we needed. And I just went to town with the Sawzall, cutting out stringers. This side was completely rotten. You can see here's the ski locker orientation here. There's the steering wheel. Come out here, here's the ski locker. that pretty much just fell out once I cut it. I got the bulkhead out back there, which was the behind the gas tank. I've given up being able to use them as tracings. I said the hell with it, let's just get all this stuff out of here, just start cutting it. Both motor mounts are rotten. I cut through those, and all you were cutting was the skin. And the whole engine compartment is actually lined with a 24-ounce roving. So I guess I'll do two applications of 1708 back there. But what I'm fearing is how to construct this step back here. You can see it's 1x2s, one there, to create the step. And I think that's a big block. When this boat was made for the big block, it was created with a step, because I don't remember seeing that in my buddy's Sea Ray. So, and he has the 350. So anyway, it's almost dark, sun's setting right now, and food's on the way. So I am going to head in for the night, hit this in the morning with the Sawzall, see what I can get out of there. I gotta find my other ones. I bought a whole bunch of Sawzall blades, and somehow they've migrated away, or I've put them somewhere and I can't find them. So I need to find them before tomorrow. Yeah, they're around here somewhere. But that's, that was about 30 minutes of cutting and doing real careful. What I'm doing is, instead of cutting right up against the hull, is I'm cutting really, really close. Now, all this wood in here is rotten. So what I'm going to do is, once I get it cut, I'll leave about this much on the hull, and I'll just grind the rest away with my grinder. So that way I'm not cutting really close to the hull. And it just take a little more time, but that way it's done. So here's my plan. Get all these stringers cut out of here. I'm going to leave the lip all the way around. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here with a straight edge all the way across. And I'm going to try to get my stringer heights. So another thing I'm worried about is how to do my stringer heights. Once you get them in here, do you just cut them to height? What's the plan? But I guess I'll figure it out as I go, just like I do everything else. So that was my Saturday. Go in there and put some heat on my back. It hurts.